Hello, fellow horror enthusiasts, and welcome. Today, we'll explore the terrifying tale of the evil eye that is said to have inspired the popular series DanDaDan. In the winter of 2008, a 14-year-old boy visiting his uncle's mountain lodge witnessed a naked, otherworldly figure dancing in the freezing night, and the moment they locked eyes, he was consumed by utter despair. Tonight, we unravel the shocking truth behind that encounter. Stay with us until the end. Posted on 20,080,117 to 213,623. IDU 3A23E90. This happened when I was 14 years old. During winter break, I was invited to stay at my uncle's villa in N Prefecture. He was still in his 30s back then, even though I call him uncle. Apparently, he originally planned to go there with his girlfriend, but since they'd recently broken up, he invited me instead. We'd always gotten along since I was little, so I was thrilled to go. He lived in the same town as me, and early in the morning, he picked me up by car. Then we hit the road together. My uncle was a pretty stylish guy. He had taught me a lot about fun things, outdoor stuff, and music over the years. I really looked up to him. It was an 8-hour drive one way, but we had a blast talking in the car, listening to music, and making fun detours during rest stops. Eventually, we arrived near our destination. We stopped by a supermarket to buy ingredients for dinner, then drove up a steep mountain road to reach the villa. The place wasn't that big, but it had the feel of a stylish, wooden lodge, like a hidden getaway. Looking downhill, we could see 2 or 3 other villas scattered around. They seemed unoccupied. Dinner that evening was a barbecue in the garden. It was just cheap meat, really. But somehow, when cooked over charcoal, it tasted amazing. We grilled offal, seafood, vegetables, stuffed ourselves full, even cooked white rice in a mess tin. It was the best dinner. Afterward, we moved to the room with the fireplace. We watched TV, played PlayStation, Super Famicom, and NES. He even showed me an underground adult video. As a virgin teen, I was seriously shocked. As it got late into the night, we started swapping scary stories. Uncle was good at this kind of thing. He was genuinely terrifying. If I get the chance, I'd like to share some of those stories, too. Suddenly, as if remembering something, my uncle muttered, "Whatever you do, don't go into the mountain behind us." Apparently, even locals rarely went in there. They say you can find matsutake mushrooms in it, but still. Maybe it's unrelated, but one of the villa owners nearby, the president of some company, was found hanging in that very back mountain years ago. I remember thinking, no way I'm ever going in there now that I've heard that. We ended up staying up until around 5 a.m., playing and talking the whole time. Finally, we each went to our rooms to sleep. Posted on 20,080,117 to 213,746. IDU 3A23E90. I woke up to sunlight streaming into the room. It was already past noon. Feeling thirsty, I went downstairs to get some water. On the way, I peeked into my uncle's room. He was still fast asleep, snoring. It was cold, but the morning air felt amazing. Mountain air is nothing like the cities. I returned to my room and stepped out onto the balcony. Sitting in a chair, the view faced directly toward the back mountain. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary forested mountain. Then I remembered, there was a telescope in the room. I suddenly felt like observing the scenery more closely. So I brought the telescope out onto the balcony. It was a high-end telescope, very powerful. I could clearly see faraway details. The distant town was visible. And even the birds perched in the trees on nearby mountains could be seen in sharp detail. I was blown away. I must have been staring through it for about 30 minutes. While scanning the trees on the back mountain, something moved into view. It looked like a person. I could see its back. Its head was shiny and bald. It was swaying its entire body erratically. A local maybe? Some sort of dance? It was holding a sickle in its hand. But the weirdest part, it was stark naked, in the middle of winter. Some kind of ritual? But there was only one person. My mind scrambled for an explanation. Its back was still turned to me, so I couldn't see its face. Yet something about its movements reminded me of a performance by Sankei-juku, that avant-garde Buto dance troupe. Suddenly, a primal instinct surged in me. I shouldn't be watching this. Whatever it was, it looked human. But something was deeply wrong. It was disturbing. But my curiosity got the better of me. I zoomed in all the way with the telescope. A smooth, pale scalp. Then a chill ran down my spine. Still dancing, the figure slowly turned to face me. At first glance, it looked human enough. It had a nose, a mouth. But it had no eyebrows. And in the center of its forehead, a single, vertical eye. My body froze. A one-eyed malformed monster? Through the telescope lens, our eyes met. Its mouth twisted into a grin. "Yuwa!" I screamed at the top of my lungs. Tears wouldn't stop flowing. I just wanted to die. A crushing wave of despair swept over me, like being trapped in suicidal depression. I want to die, I want to die. I ran around the room in a frenzy, completely losing it. That's when my uncle burst in. Posted on 20,080,117 to 213,921. IDU 3A23E90. What's going on? There's a monster. Huh? Through the telescope. In the back mountain. My uncle rushed over and looked through the telescope. Exclamation mark. He let out a wordless groan and grabbed his head with both hands. Tears running down his face, nose dripping. I'd calmed down just a little by then. What the hell is that thing? Coco. He was sobbing, calling out the name of his ex-girlfriend. I started to panic. This was seriously bad. In a moment of desperation, I slapped him in the face. Hard. For the first time in my life. He twitched, his body shaking in small jerks. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Then he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Yashi, Yashi, listen. In the drawer of my desk, there's a pair of sunglasses. Bring them. One for me, one for you. Why? Just do it." I did as I was told and handed him the sunglasses. His hands were trembling as he put them on, and looked through the telescope again, slowly moving it around. "Ah," he groaned, then motioned for me to come over. "Put on the glasses and take a look." Trembling, I put on the sunglasses and peered through the lens. Even with the glasses blurring things slightly, I could still see it in the woods. Our eyes met again. That same overwhelming anxiety came flooding back, but not as intense as before. Still, my heart was pounding unnaturally fast. Also, the creature wasn't in the same place. It was moving, still performing that strange, floppy dance, but steadily making its way down the mountain. And the whole time, its single eye was locked on us. It's coming this way. Posted on 20,080,117 to 214,047. IDU 3A23E90. Hey, do you need to pee? Huh? What are you talking about now? If you do, there's an empty plastic bottle in the kitchen. Go pee in it. Then my uncle went downstairs. I was too stunned to respond. There was no way I could pee under these circumstances. A few minutes later, my uncle came back, holding a bottle full of yellow urine. "Use this if you need to." He handed me another empty bottle. "No, seriously, what is that thing?" "Something from the mountain, a mountain child, maybe. I don't really know." Then he continued, "When I was a kid, my dad used to take me camping in the mountains a lot. Not this mountain, though. Weird things always happened in the mountains. Sometimes at night, we'd hear people talking outside the tent. But no one would be there. But if we sprinkled pee around the area, the voices would just stop." He glanced back through the telescope again, groaning like he was in pain, but still watching the creature. "That thing, I don't know how fast it moves. But it's coming down the mountain, slowly, steadily. I lost sight of it briefly, but I'm sure it's heading straight for this lodge. Then we need to get out of here. Let's drive away." "No, it's probably useless. Unless we can distract it, change its focus, it'll just keep following us. This is a kind of curse. It's written as Shi, Jashi, the evil eye. That's what you said earlier, but how do you know so much about this?" "Back when I was working in a town in Northern Europe." "No. If we survive, I'll tell you the rest then." "If we survive? Are we just going to wait for that thing to come here?" "No. We're going to face it head on." Posted on 20,080,117 to 214,144. IDU 3A23E90. To be honest, I thought we should barricade ourselves inside the lodge. But my uncle insisted we had to act before the thing reached us. I was terrified. Going toward that monster seemed insane. But my uncle had always been dependable, ever since I was a kid. I respected him. So, I chose to follow him. We each packed sunglasses, a bottle of urine, some light food in a backpack, a pair of binoculars, a wooden bat, flashlights, etc. And headed into the back mountain. Uncle's plan was to deal with it before nightfall. Could we endure its gaze? Even with sunglasses, could we handle facing that thing up close, not through a telescope? Doubt and dread raced through my mind. The back mountain was bigger than I expected. Using the binoculars, we began searching for the creature. Uncle said it was likely coming straight toward us. So if we waited long enough, we'd run into it. Going too deep would be dangerous after dark. So we advanced about 500 meters into the forest and found a slightly open area. There, we decided to lie in wait. We just need to distract it, that's the key. How? In my theory, we have to get close to it. But whatever you do, don't look at it directly. Look at it from the side. Keep it in your peripheral vision. And then douse it with our saved up piss. If that doesn't work, listen, I'm serious here, we show it our dicks. Excuse me. Evil eyes Jashi, they hate unclean things, excrement, urine, genitals. We can't kill it, but if that forces it to retreat, we might just survive. And if that still doesn't work? Then we run. We get in the car and flee. So we sat on some rocks in silence, waiting in fear, dread, and crushing tension. We took turns scanning with the binoculars. The time passed 4 p.m. Posted on 20,080,117 to 214,414. IDU 3A23E90. Big bro, wake up. It was the voice of my younger brother, who had died in an accident when I was 10. He was a year younger than me. Come on, bro. You're gonna be late for school. So annoying, just let me sleep 3 more minutes. If you don't wake up, you're going to die. I jolted awake. Had I fallen asleep? Impossible in that kind of fear and tension? Had we been put to sleep? I looked beside me. My uncle was also sleeping. I shook him awake, and he sprang up. His watch read 5:30 p.m. Almost fully dark now. Cold sweat ran down my back. "Hey, can you hear it?" "What? A voice, a song?" Focusing hard, I listened closely. From the thicket, just a few meters ahead and to the right, I heard something. It was coming closer. A high, eerie voice, like an old folk song. But the words were completely incomprehensible. Just hearing it made me want to give up on life. The kind of despair that seeps into your bones. "Listen. Only shine your light at the ground," my uncle shouted. I aimed my flashlight at the base of the bushes, toward where the thing was coming out. I saw its legs hairless, deathly pale. Its whole body moved in a slithering motion as it crept closer. That horrible song, just hearing it, made my mind feel like it was about to snap. Posted on 20,080,117 to 214,539. IDU 3A23E90. Og. The thing dropped down on all fours, and slowly brought its face into the beam of my flashlight, which had been aimed at its legs. I looked straight at it. I made eye contact. That same crushing feeling I'd felt during the day came crashing down again. I want to die. I want to die. I want to die. Just seeing that face made death seem like a preferable option. My uncle knocked over the bottle of urine and began sobbing. The flashlight had fallen, its beam now lighting up the creature's body. Still singing that horrific, incomprehensible song. It crept toward us on all fours. Its movements jerky and unnatural, like a newborn foal. A rusty sickle glinted in its right hand. I genuinely considered biting off my own tongue and ending it. But then, "Purerurururu," my uncle's cell phone rang. Though he had been sobbing moments earlier, he suddenly went blank, his face expressionless. He pulled the phone from his down jacket pocket and stared at it. What the hell is he doing? We're about to die and he's just staring at his phone? The ringtone kept going. "Purerurururu." He continued to stare. Meanwhile, the creature turned its attention toward me. I wet myself from fear. This was it. I was going to die. Suddenly, my uncle let out a roar, grabbed the fallen flashlight from the ground, rushed over to me, and snatched up my urine bottle. "Don't look at it. I'm going to shine the light on its face. Just close your eyes." I curled up on the ground, eyes squeezed shut. My sunglasses knocked off in the chaos. What follows is what my uncle told me later. He aimed the flashlight at the creature's face, tracked its position using his peripheral vision. Then brace yourself. He put the bottle to his mouth and took in some of my urine. Then, keeping the light trained on the thing's face, he crouched and spat the urine at it like a mist. The creature let out a scream, like a horse shrieking in pain. Then he spat again, and again, directly at its eye. Posted on 20,080,117 to 214,649. IDU 3A23E90. Then came another scream, even higher pitched than the last. But the thing was still there. Panicking, my uncle dropped his pants and underwear, and shone the flashlight directly on his own crotch. Apparently, the creature saw it. Though I couldn't understand its language. It let out a string of furious, venomous-sounding curses. Then suddenly turned its back to us. At that moment, I finally lifted my head. My uncle was illuminating the creature's back with his flashlight. And what truly terrified me, even as it retreated, it kept singing that same grotesque song. Its body slithered unnaturally, and it moved slowly, agonizingly slowly, at the pace of a frail old man walking with a cane. We stood frozen, shining the flashlight at its back, watching, terrified it might turn around at any moment, enduring what felt like an eternity of excruciating fear. We watched until it finally disappeared into the darkness. We walked back to the lodge in complete silence. Not a word was spoken. Once inside, my uncle locked every door and window. Then made us some coffee. After a few sips, he finally spoke. "So that worked? We diverted its interest?" "Probably," he said, then gave a small, sheepish laugh. "Although, I've never seen my junk shrivel up that much in my life." We both managed a weak laugh. Then slowly, hesitantly, he began to speak again. This time, about the evil eye. Posted on 20,080,117 to 214,733. IDU 3A23E90. My uncle often traveled overseas for work. He was, as he put it, a technical specialist, though he didn't go into specifics. He told me this happened while he was staying in a town in Northern Europe. There, he'd made friends with another engineer, someone who also spoke Japanese and acted as a kind of interpreter. One day, that guy told him, "I've got something interesting to show you." My uncle followed him, thinking they were heading to a strip club or something. But they ended up in a filthy little house tucked away in a back alley. Despite its dirty and rundown exterior, the inside was completely different. Expensive-looking carpets, ornate pottery, genuine-looking jewelry, and a strange, fragrant incense hung in the air. Before he could process it all, he was led into a small inner room. Inside sat a man who looked to be in his 60s, surrounded by candles, and, oddly, wearing sunglasses despite it being night and indoors. According to his friend, the man was someone who possessed the evil eye. He explained, the evil eye or Jashi is a belief found all around the world. A kind of superstition or folklore, that a person can place a curse on others, just by staring at them with malicious intent. It's also known as the evil eye, demonic eye, or cursed eye. The power varies by person, but in some cases, just one look can cause illness, weakness, and eventually even death. My uncle was skeptical. He figured the man was some kind of magician or illusionist. Then the man whispered something to his friend, who turned and explained, "He says you don't believe, so he's going to let you experience just a tiny bit of his power." Curious, my uncle agreed. Another whisper followed. The friend translated, "From now, he'll tie you up not to hurt you, but because his power is that strong. Once you're bound, he will look into your eyes for just a moment, only a second or two. That's all he'll do." Posted on 20,080,117 to 214,834. IDU 3A23E90. My uncle said that at the time, he figured it was just some parlor trick. Maybe the man's eyes were grotesquely deformed, or he was using colored contacts, or perhaps the incense had some kind of hallucinogenic effect. He didn't like the idea of being tied up, but he trusted his friend, who seemed genuinely sincere. So he agreed. They tied him to a chair, and the man slowly approached. His friend turned away, refusing to look. Then, silently, the man removed his sunglasses and looked down at my uncle. "It was exactly like when I saw that thing earlier today," my uncle murmured, setting his coffee down on the table. "The moment our eyes met, I wanted to die." The guy's eyes were just ordinary, totally normal-looking eyes, but still I felt like life itself was meaningless. It was different from hypnosis or suggestion. It was something far beyond all that. His friend told him that the man, the one with the evil eye, would even take assassination jobs for the right price. Apparently, he had ties to the local mafia and was used in their turf wars. About a week before my uncle returned to Japan, he heard that the evil eye man had died. Rumor was, he had overstepped his bounds and embarrassed someone high-ranking in the organization. So they eliminated him. They found him tied to a chair in a local brothel, the floor around him covered in human waste. It's said he had torn through his restraints with tremendous force and gouged out both his own eyes before dying. Posted on 20,080,117 to 214,923. IDU 3A23E90. Like I said earlier, my uncle continued, the evil eye hates filth. It's repulsed by anything unclean. Maybe they smeared the place with human waste and made him watch sex acts or something. I couldn't respond. I didn't even have the energy to speak anymore. So the thing we saw earlier, was it also a possessor of the evil eye? Sensing what I was thinking, my uncle spoke again. I don't know if that thing was really a monster, or if it was just some poor human raised in some twisted way. But I just knew, running away wouldn't be enough. That's why I was willing to face it head on, even if it meant dying. You know how they say Kappa hate human spit? Maybe things like that, piss, shit, even our own bodies. Maybe they're more effective against supernatural stuff than holy water or sutras. As I listened to his story, I remembered my dream, the one where my little brother called out to me. Do you think it was my brother who saved me? I was crying. My uncle listened silently, nodding solemnly. A full minute passed before he spoke again. Yeah, maybe so. He was more level-headed than you, after all. You remember when my phone rang earlier? That call, it was from my ex-girlfriend. But here's the weird part. There's no way a phone should get signal up here in the mountains. Look, check your phone. Not even a single bar, right? That's why, yeah, maybe there really was something helping us out. Let's get off this mountain. Right now. I'm selling this lodge, and I want to call her back as soon as I can. With a shy smile, he downed the rest of his coffee and stood up. Thank you for watching. It's unclear exactly how much this story influenced DanDaDan, but many of you may have sensed the roots of that same eerie fear within it. A strange figure lurking deep in the mountains. The evil eye that invades the mind with a single glance. This may not be just fiction. Perhaps it's something that lies closer to us than we think. So please, everyone, beware of unseen gazes. We'll see you in the next video.